welcome everyone back from lunch. I'm very happy and excited that we have Dirk Schrödter, Minister of Digitalization from Schleswig-Holstein, here in the call. He's obviously not able to join us here physically, but we will have a remote setup. He's a spearhead for open source and open innovation in Germany, I would say. Happy that you're here, Dirk. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's first of all, it's a pleasure and an honor to speak here today on a matter that touches our digital future, digital sovereignty with a focus on open innovation and open source. In Schleswig-Holstein, the northernmost state in Germany, we have expressly strategically chosen a path that places control, transparency, and trust at the heart of our public digital infrastructure. Because the digital systems that run our public infrastructure and our administrations are not just helpful tools anymore or just technical enablers also, they are mission critical infrastructure. Public IT is deeply embedded in the daily operations of our administrations and societies. If we lose control over our IT systems, we risk losing political and administrative autonomy. The foundations of our rule-based coexistence are currently being shaken to the core. We see it every day. These tensions underline the need for action additionally. Digital sovereignty is therefore not just a technical topic, it's a matter of national security and a requirement for operational integrity and democratic legitimacy. Digital sovereignty is also fundamental to our technological and our economic competitiveness in Europe. The consequences of this knowledge must be drawn for the digital space quickly, we think in Schleswig-Holstein. This can only mean one thing, establishing digital sovereignty, and it's very clear, digital sovereignty is no longer optional. It's a very, very important point for us. Digital sovereignty means that individuals and institutions have the capabilities and the skills to fulfill their roles in the digital world independently, autonomously, and securely. These capabilities only emerge when we are able to shape the tools we use to understand, modify, and improve them. That is only possible when we have full access to our systems and when we have the freedom to innovate without a vendor lock-in. Let me take a view on the current situation to understand our challenges and to understand our Schleswig-Holstein approach. The current situation is characterized by the fact that governments heavily dependent on proprietary software, often provided by a handful of global technology giants. This dominance of few tech corporations in public infrastructure limits our power to shape and our flexibility, threatens our security, and inflates our software costs. It's also both a technical and economic threat. Concrete, we face limited power to shape our IT systems, no access to source code, no possibility to influence the design of IT solutions with shrinked flexibility. We face limited transparency, no access to source code, no full control over data, uncontrolled data leaks cannot be prevented. We face security risks, no access to source code, no possibility to verify security. Our security risks increase when vulnerabilities are hidden or go unaddressed. And we face monopolistic pricing, no access to source code, no competition with rising licensing fees. That affects our administrations as well as our companies. And our companies are also facing exactly these problems. What's more, this dependence undermines our economic resilience and innovative strengths in the long term. Our license fees finance technological progress in the non-European digital economy. And as a result, we are seeing a further divergence in technological progress between Europe and the other regions. That has a negative impact of the attractiveness of Europe as a location for companies and workers in the digital field. The dependencies becomes more acute when we consider what administrations will look like in the future. The guiding principle will be algorithm-driven, data-driven, automation-driven, and cloud-driven. And the move to the cloud in particular can increase dependencies due to vendor cloud systems. Dependencies extend beyond workplace IT to the backend of IT infrastructures. Access licenses often significantly increase cost as both operations and users require doubling licensing. Infrastructure licensing is often tied to the entire system, making needs-based procurement uneconomical and administratively. This hands over control to the manufacturers. And we can now summarize our targets with digital sovereignty as follows. We have to be able to influence the operational processes of our IT systems. We have to be in control over of government data, the data of citizens and the data of our companies. We have to be able to influence the design of our applications and IT solutions. We have to minimize the security risks. We have to reduce economic costs risks. It must be acknowledged that with the proprietary software currently in use, digital sovereignty cannot be achieved. The conclusion is to ensure our sovereignty and save our autonomy, we need to break dependencies on single vendors. Here are three main aspects relevant: encouraging a diverse IT provider landscape, adopting open standards, and implementing and using open source software. I would like to underline one point. I think that's very important in this actual discussion. Critical infrastructures can be operated, adapted, and controlled independently by using open source. That's very important. IT security and data security improve through transparency and adaptability by use open source. We in Schleswig-Holstein are convinced that public administrations can and must become a driver of innovation in the use of open source and adopt open standards. Governments must take a pioneering role in this field. That's why we are creating in Schleswig-Holstein an environment that promotes, at first, open innovation in a whole ecosystem that brings together different stakeholders in the field of open source using to support regional open source development and research and regional and domestic digital economy in the field of open source. And second, open source and open standards in our own state IT. This vision is already implemented in our system. We are building a digitally sovereign IT workplace for the entire state administration only based on open source software. Let me describe the pillars of our workplace and our concrete steps towards the digitally sovereign IT workplace. First, LibreOffice replace Microsoft Office. We have done the LibreOffice rollout last year. LibreOffice is now the standard Office application in our ministries, and we plan to uninstall Microsoft Office, including Outlook, in the end of September 2025 in the most of the workplaces. Open Exchange and Thunderbird will replace the previously used Microsoft Exchange and Outlook. We have a migration plan for all ministries, and in the coming months, also till the end of September 2025, we completed a migration process in the State Chancellery in the beginning of April this year, 2025. This week, further ministries are in the middle of the migration process. Nextcloud replaces SharePoint. Nextcloud is our new collaboration tool, which is currently being gradually rolled out across our ministries. We already use in many of our administrations, and we work with Nextcloud. We use open source software in our video conferencing systems. From the beginning, in using video conferencing, we have relied on open source solutions like Jitsi, not Teams or WebEx or like this. In the future, we will also use an application called OpenTalk. We want to implement Linux instead of Windows. We are in the pilot phase in this time. I'm personally a part of this pilot phase of the pilot computer with an own Linux computer, and I must say I love it. And our telephony systems are being redeveloped with an open source alternative. What I described is not an experiment or so in Schleswig-Holstein. It's a deliberate transition driven by a strong political will, a clear roadmap to have the change, a long-term budget planning for the change. The transition is supported by a decision of the state government. However, there are implementation challenges in our way. First of all, document sharing with other federal states and the federal government. Data and document exchange requires an open standard for all. By initiative of our state of Schleswig-Holstein, the conference of the German digital ministers and the German IT board decided that open standards like ODF are the new normal in Germany. This allows us in the future to work with only one uniform standard in different applications like Microsoft Office or LibreOffice. We use LibreOffice. This means more competition, and this is the way to have a document sharing between the federal states. And the second challenge are the specific IT solutions in which Microsoft is deeply embedded. We have adjusted these solutions in common with the companies. That is sometimes not so easy, I must say, in particular if these companies are also monopolists or have a strong market power in for say a solution. We are seeing exactly here the same problems here we have with the tech giants like Microsoft, but we are communicating to them, if you as a companies want to have a future in our country, in our state, you have to work with us on openness on your solution. In that, we will have to separate in the long term and look for other solutions, other specific IT solutions. A third challenge is the change management. Technically, all issues can be resolved and overcome. That's a great news, I think. The same applies to employee acceptance. That primarily involves communication, transparency, and support services. We are particularly focused on on-site implementation support and comprehensive training materials. On the other hand, employees must also be encouraged to familiarize themselves with the new systems. Of course, very, very important is the leadership. The leader have to show that they use the new application in their daily work. It's sometimes argued that open source software development is insecure or discontinuous. However, closer inspection, this is false. Rather, by supporting professional, profitable open source companies with development and support contracts, we ensure long-term sustainable development maintenance, but on our terms and not on terms dictated by the tech giants. Additionally, we strengthen our digital location and makes it attractive for skilled workers in the digital field. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen that open source software must become the standard in our digitalized administration to get digital sovereignty. To achieve this goal, the share of open source in public IT procurement spending must gradually increase at all government levels, federal level, state level, and the municipal level. We need a shifting in our public budgets to open source solutions. Probably we have to design for that a middle-term planning with concrete milestones for the budget. An open source strategy should serve as a framework. Public procurement laws must be adjusted to create targeted opportunities for prioritizing open source solutions with the overarching goal of achieving digital sovereignty. Instead of primarily financing license fees for monopolistic providers, procurement practices should be adjusted to commissioned tailored open source solutions in collaboration with the highly professional companies and to invest open source solutions. But our transformation goes in Schleswig-Holstein beyond software. We are also implementing open innovation as a method and a mindset. That is a very important point. For that, we have launched a local innovation hub that brings together public administrations, companies, in particular startups, universities, and the civil society. The hub is building a statewide open source ecosystem with different instruments. One instrument is our state program Open Innovation. The hub co-develops solutions that addresses real-world administrative challenges for small administrations and non-profit organizations. A standout example is for electronic case file, a digital document management system that evolved from a proprietary base into a scalable open source platform. The hub is only one initiative. Another very important initiative to foster open innovation and open source in our state is the OSPO, Open Source Program Office Schleswig-Holstein. The OSPO, our OSPO, ensures the transformation is structured, transparent, and collaborative. An open source program office is an intra-organizational and intra-administrative central coordinating office. It steers the strategically usage, the development, and the administration of open source software. The OSPO Schleswig-Holstein takes this part from the federal state administration and stands for different tasks: community management and networking between administration, economy, and society, transparency and open governance, digital sovereignty through open source with the stakeholder, and strategy and steering of open source usage. It is a central point of contact for all open source activities and ensures the sustainable, independent, and innovation promoting IT landscape in Schleswig-Holstein in the long term. And we need more open source programs in our companies and the private sector as a part of our ecosystem. Therefore, we are currently establishing a state program to support our small and medium-sized enterprises in establishing such open source program offices. This will enable these companies to strategically use open source solutions in the future. And the benefits extend far beyond public administrations. Our shift is not only a strategic, it is economically sound. Open source is a catalyst for economic growth. According to a EU Commission study, a 10% annual increase in open source contributions could create over 600 additional ICT startups and to 0.6% extra GDP growth across the EU. A Harvard study has shown that open source engagement increases competitiveness. That shows digital sovereignty by using open source opens up economic development potential for Europe. That shows a very big possibility to solve economic development in the digital field for the domestic digital economy. Our state government's framework resonates with a spectrum of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, with particular emphasis Goal 17, for example, advocating for open source practices that support collaboration and knowledge sharing among governments, companies, and the civil society. This collaborative effort strengthens the global partnerships and expands access to technologies crucial for sustainable development. What we need for the future to foster open source. We want to make open source to the new normal in our IT system. And that is our to-do list. And what we have to do, we need a binding open source strategy with a clear roadmap and clear milestones. We need a procurement reform to allow public administrations to prioritize open solutions. We need a budget redesign, shifting money from license to development, training, and community building. We need political leadership with courage to act. And we need another one, understanding that sovereignty requires a systemic change and not just a technical replacement. Dear participants, the path to digital sovereignties is neither short nor easy, but it's necessary and it's achievable. I show it on the example Schleswig-Holstein. Schleswig-Holstein is proving that open source administrations can be secure, efficient, and economically sound. We are not just consumers of technology, we are shaping it transparently and collaboratively. Open source and open innovation are our tools for that. This is not just a Schleswig-Holstein journey, it's a shared European mission. Let us work together and as regions, as countries, as a continent with the administrations and open source enterprises to reclaim our digital independence in Europe. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. I'm from Baden-Württemberg, and I would like to know, are there any ideas to widen this up to the other countries in Germany too? So are there ideas in the other countries or maybe existing organizations or initiatives?
Yeah, we have a strong interest from other countries. More interest from other countries outside Germany than from other states in Germany, but the interest also in Germany from other states are growing in this time, and we have contacts to different CIOs in the community, and we speak daily with partners in Europe and in the States and Germany, and we have a great interest to build a network and to come in contact with partners in Europe. We have an exchange with the colleagues in Denmark, in Switzerland, also with Austria, and that is very, very fruitful. and we have a change. We are member in the Nordic Institute for Interoperability, and so we have a contact and a cooperation with colleagues in the Baltic states, and that is very, very fruitful to have the discussions with these colleagues.
Thank you very much for the talk. I have a question. It's great that you want to use all this open software in your program. Is there also budget and room that you want to contribute back to the things you are using?
Yeah, we have a centralized, since years, a centralized IT budget, and we are shifting our budget from licensing from proprietary software solutions to open source software solutions. And for special projects, we give money in special programs. But I think we need not additional special programs. We have to use our normal IT budgets, and we have to use this money in our budgets and have the shifting for that. And so that's our way in Schleswig-Holstein, that we are shifting our budget step by step in open source solutions.
From my side, there have been quite a few attempts, or successful or less successful in the past, in Germany also, to shift away from proprietary solutions in governance into organizations. People remember, for example, Linux in Munich, the activity. I think there were other smaller cities trying to achieve that. What are your takeaways from these activities? What are your learnings? What would you do, or are you doing differently already? And how do you also ensure that this is an initiative which lasts and surveys another changes also maybe in governance, or changes in priorities coming up in the future?
Yeah. At first, I think we are 20 years after Munich. That is an advantage. No, I think I can't answer in detail. I think you have to design concrete milestones with steps you can achieve the goals within the steps, and you have to not climb the big mountain. You have to define steps. I call it pillars in our strategy. We are looking at the Office suite. We are looking at the email infrastructure, Open Exchange, Thunderbird. We are looking at the video content. We have milestones and a roadmap for that, and we use software solutions from the community. There are using all over the world. Yeah, you can use LibreOffice. You can look at LibreOffice or Open Exchange, and that's our solutions in. They work, and we have special things. For example, connections from our Office suite to our e-file system, and that is our work, that we look how we can develop this product to the special efforts we have. So, and we are, but the basis is our software in using. That is maybe the biggest difference. I think so.
A question from the chat. How does the German government plan to support European cloud providers? For security reasons, it would be extremely beneficial to become sovereign, especially considering the American Cloud Act.
Yeah, I can't speak for the whole German administration. I can speak for our state, and for our state, I have a responsibility, and we have a look on the Cloud Act, and so it is not our plan to go in the cloud that is not not safe digital sovereignty. I think also a cloud standard must be sovereign, really sovereign, as like a sovereign cloud stack or like this. And we need European solutions to save our digital sovereignty. The future of the administration, I showed on a slide, is cloud driven. And so we have the possibility to now we have the possibility to go with our administrations in a really sovereign cloud solution, and that must be an independent cloud solution from the tech giants in the US.
Thank you very much for your great talk. I really appreciated it. So my question is, do you already have a talk with Carsten Wildberger, so the new Federal Minister for Digitalization and Government Modernization? And if yes, what was his feedback? So what is he thinking about open source?
Yeah, we have a conversation, and I would not talk about the conversation in detail. I think, but he see the challenge to save digital sovereignty, and he see the thing that we can save digital sovereignty with open source solutions, and to use open source solutions for our digital as a booster for our digital economy, and we will have in the next days the next conversation, and we will deepen this first meeting 2 weeks ago. But he had the understanding of that we do in Schleswig-Holstein.
Are you collaborating with sovereign tech agency?
Yeah, we have a strong contact to different agencies in Germany. Yeah, we have contact, and not only to the agencies, also to other administrations. Yeah, and like Sendes, we have a collaboration and work together. But we have our own way in Schleswig-Holstein.
My question is, do you already experience pushback from big tech, and do you already have some learnings how to handle this pushback?
No. I think they want to ignore us. That is at this time the strategy. But it is if we do. Have a greater network, that they have a strong look at what we do. So I will say so. They have a strong look at what we do, but it's not direct pushbacks. No. Yeah. Thank you very much for having us, for having me today.